wonder. God, I don't even know. Good morning, you guys. I decided to go live just because I felt like it. This live is really, honestly, it's very random, obviously, but it's for watch time, and it's also because I didn't want to play any music, so I figured I'd just take you guys with me so you guys can see what I do early in the morning and why I'm up so early every morning. So obviously I'm going live on my personal computer, and but I also have my work laptop. Okay. Yesterday I spent the day with somebody very, very special to me, that seems to be my little guardian angel at times. My uncle. We went to the International African American Museum. They just built it. Good morning, Black Rain. They just built it down here in Charleston. It's beautiful. If you guys ever visit Charleston, you definitely need to go visit the museum. But we have a lot of things. We have the aquarium. That's beautiful. The Maritime Center. You have boating. You have I forgot what they call them, but they're like little boats that take you around. You could see Fort Sumter. You could see all these military posts from back in Civil War time, which is really cool. And they have different type of boat rides. They have the Mother's Day boat ride, the all white boat ride where everybody dresses in white. They have bands play. They have a lot of fun things, I will say, to do if you look for them. You know, they're not going to just... Yes, I'm up early, sweetie. To be honest, this is typical for me. This, every morning. The reason I am up, I'm actually way behind because I should be headed out the door to the gym. Then I have to shower. Then I have to come get dressed. Then I have to make myself lunch for the day. Although, you know, somebody told me that I'm just up on YouTube all day, and I'm trying to think of myself, when am I up on YouTube every day? I work every day. Meantime, these people are on panels every single day. So, you know, people just say stuff. Because I am most definitely not up on YouTube every day. I work every day. But that's neither here or there. I am going to talk about YouTube, but I want to talk about my day with my uncle. And thank you guys for being here. You could be anywhere else, but you're here with me. So, that museum, and I'm pretty well read. I'm pretty educated on my history, on African American history, on just history period of people of color, even around the world. I took several years of history in college, so I feel like I'm not ignorant, and I'm not. But there was a lot to be learned, and we all can learn something. I learned that there's a lot of people. What I'm going to do, y'all, I'm going to take my family to the museum on Friday. I'm going to buy some tickets. I'm going to take my family, and I might go live at that time. Yesterday was really not the time for me to go live. And that's the thing. I don't like to go live when I'm with family and friends because that's our private time. But I'm definitely going to make some time this week to take you guys live back to that museum so you can see what I'm talking about. But it made me proud. It made me proud of, I've always been proud to be a black woman. I'm very proud to be a black woman. And not just a black woman, but an African American woman. When I look back and just think about everything our ancestors have been through, it makes me proud. The stories, and when we say stories, we got to keep in mind that these aren't stories that never happened. These are not fictional stories. These are stories that were passed down from my grandmother, God rest her soul, who just passed at almost 100 years old. Okay? To her, from her mother, okay, whom was out of slavery. Out of slavery. My grandmother was one generation out of slavery. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? So she was a wisdom that no school could, you can't pay for that type of wisdom. The things she's lived through. She's lived through times where black folks weren't allowed to vote, and I'm just very, very proud of that background. I'm very proud of her. I'm very just proud to be from all that strength, you know. If you guys haven't taken the time to go to your local African American, most states have one, African American museum, you really should. Everybody should. The funny thing was there were, good morning Zero, good morning Hit Therapy. The funny thing was there was more non-black people there than black people. Good morning LSP. I'm just talking about my day yesterday with my uncle and our trip to the African American Museum and how wonderful it was. How wonderful it was. Just to see the artifacts. There were artifacts from Sierra Leone, from other parts of Africa, and think of them all. But we all know that the majority of us is to believe to have come from the west coast of Africa. Not all of us, but the majority of us came from the west coast of Africa during the slave trade. And just the numbers of people that lost their lives on the way over here. I mean, millions of people lost their lives. The average trip during the passage was 63 days. 63 days packed like tuna. We all know. You know, to see it in a book versus to see it in a laid out 3D image is completely different, and they have that at that museum. And then that doesn't account for all the people that once they got here, they died later from sickness, disease, being overworked. So that does not account for all the people that died afterwards, thereafter. Like I said, there was so much there. And I really can't put it into words. Like I said, I will be taking you guys, and I should be doing my work, y'all. I'm supposed to be doing my work. So I'm going to talk to you for a little while longer, and then I need to try and get to the gym and do all this stuff before I go to work this morning. The artifacts, the artwork from Africa. We're such a talented people. The furniture that the artisans made, and this is the thing, you know, this is the ignorance of a lot of people, and include myself, before I became well read and well studied. And I got to say, shout out to my mother, a single mother, that made sure that me and my brother, that we learned our education not just by the school system, but she taught us. My mom did a lot of things. You know, she did nursing. She worked in people's kitchens. She cleaned people's homes. So did my grandmother. She worked multiple jobs, but one thing she always did was to teach us, to read to us, to teach us our history and not depend for the school system to do it. Oh God, I'm getting a message this morning. No, it's too early for a message, honey. I'm not even supposed to be working. Ciao. But basically, let me get to the point. We came over here highly skilled, y'all. Highly skilled. I already knew about the rice fields, the sugar cane. That was us. We were already doing that work, and we taught them. We brought rice over here. Of course, we learned about the Geechee Gullah people. Geechee Gullah, it basically was, so when the Africans came over, we came from different tribes, right? Different nations, right? And that's something else that they don't teach. You know, a lot of black folks really need to take the time to educate themselves, okay? Because there's this huge misconception, and a lot of black people have given into this, and that misconception is that black folks enslaved themselves. So to white folks coming over to Africa, we all look the same because we all have pretty much the dark skin, right? But there's an old saying, all skin folk ain't kin folk. And what that means is, when you go all over, and I've traveled, when you go all over the world, there's dark skinned people. Dark skinned people have been here since the beginning of time. And in my beliefs, I'm going to be honest, I believe we are the original people. I really do believe that. Because the original people came from the original land, which was Africa, period. And that's why you have dark skinned people all over this world, in Asia, everywhere. In Europe, everywhere. We were traveling long before. But I don't want to get on, I really don't want to get on a diatribe about that part. But the ignorance is that, oh, black people enslaved each other. Well, guess what? Africa is a huge continent, right? And so you have not only other tribes, you got other nations that were invading other nations, right? Because it's a continent. So they weren't enslaving their own people. That's a huge misconception. It's a lie. They were not enslaving their own people. These were people of other nations that were crossing borders. No different than what America does, to be honest. We don't, right now we're not enslaving people, but we sure enough locking people up, aren't they? If they cross over that wall, aren't we doing that, right? So, you know, people really need to get an education on the truth. As if somehow that justifies the cruelty that was done once we got here. There were several differences between the way slavery, and I'm not justifying anything. I'm not saying any person should be owned by another person. That's not what I'm saying. But people need to educate themselves. They really do. And I'm gonna be honest. If you are African American, you really need to get an understanding of your history. Or anybody could tell you anything, and you'll fall for it. These teachers, these professors are telling our kids anything. And I know I was an adult that went back to school. I went back to college late. And I was I was an A student, but I was constantly questioning things. I was constantly saying, that don't sound right. Or that's not, that professor shouldn't be saying this. That's not correct. I literally had a professor say that he thought some slaves were not wanting to be free, and he thought, there's still debate about whether the way they were freed was. I said, excuse me? I guess he forgot that he actually had an adult in his class, because everybody else was like 18, freshman college student, and here I was going back to school at a later age, so I wasn't about to sit there and go for it. And he actually respected me for it, for my difference of opinion, for my outspokenness. And I passed that class with an A. And I gave his ass hell. Whenever he would say some stupid shit, I gave his ass hell. And I was able to go back, pull out a book, and refute the things that he was saying. But basically, yes. So, that's a common misconception or just flat out lie that we enslaved our own people. No, it was people from other nations crossing borders, because all Africans are not the same. Africa is a continent. But to them, we all looked alike. So they considered us all the same. We came over here, those of us that made it. And we were able to, some of us were able to survive the horrors. I mean, that's just what it is. If you want to see an account of some of the things, I've shared with you guys a lot of the stuff on my channel before. I'd be happy to share it with you again. Last year I did not, was the first year I did not do a video for Black History Month. And I'm not sure why. I think I was just, y'all know I go through my little moods when I don't want to be on here, but I have plenty of footage, plenty of books. I've heard people say that black women were never whipped, that black women were never hung. There's so many books. There's so many photos. There's so much in just in a book that disprove these things. Our people, period, men, women, and children were brutalized. And we need to learn more about it so we cannot let ignorant things slip out of our mouth. And then Mahogany Roots has to go get the footage, or has to go get the pictures so you could see, yes, this happened to everybody. No one was sitting up and just living this life of lavish while where everybody else was working in the field. No, that's not what it was. Our people were going through horrors. And of course, yes, you had the field Negro and you had the house Negro. But both had their own personal hell, okay? Both had their own personal hell. I don't want to delve too deep into that. Like I said, if you guys ever have questions, all you have to do is leave a comment up under the video, and I will be glad to share. I have lots of information. Good morning. Let me say hello to you guys, because I'm really just chilling. Good morning, Amina. Good to see you. Good to see you all. You guys are up early with the girl, honey. Do you want to go back to Africa? MJ23. Who's MJ23? I recognize that name. I would visit Africa. I absolutely would. It is one of my places. It's one of the places I want to visit. Do I want to leave this place right here where I was born, where I have citizenship, where I am by all means? This is my land. No, I don't want to leave it. I know that some African Americans want to, and that's fine. That's their decision. But, my uncle was a retired colonel. Almost 30 years of service to this country. Most of my family is military, so we fought, and our ancestors have fought. Yours too, if you're African American, have fought for this land here. This land is just as much as mine, yours, as it is any person of another nationality. So I don't feel the need to go back. You know what I'm saying? Because I claim this land. This is just as much my land as it is anybody else's. And I really wish that black people saw it that way. They have just as much claim. In some cases more. Because it was our ancestors' blood, sweat, and tears, honey, that built this country. That same pretty White House, honey, that the presidents lay their head in. Built by slaves. The railroads. So, I've heard people say, go back. I'll go back to visit. But this right here, yeah, I'm staking my claim. Absolutely. And I would suggest that all black folks feel that way. Okay, Amina. Shalom, sweetheart. I'm glad to see you still here. You know, I'd be up here cussing and fussing, honey. I imagine you going off on that professor. Oh, yes. But you know, on here it's a little different. I know how to conduct myself a little bit more cordial, but yes, I absolutely did. I knocked on his door, honey. I knocked on his door and I said, "Hello, professor." And he said, "Oh, hello. Hi, Miss Roots." We'll say Roots. He said, "Hi, Miss Roots. Can I help you?" And I said, "Yes, I'd like to talk to you about your lecture in class today." Oh, and he said, "Oh, okay. Was there an issue? Is there something you did not, you know, that you didn't understand that you want to go over?" I said, "Well, I understood it. I just didn't agree with it." And he said, "Oh, do tell." Okay. He said, "Do tell." And I said, the part where you said that, you know, there were African, something about there was a study or something that there were certain slaves that didn't want to be there. And I understood what he was saying. He was saying there was a group of, in history. Okay, so let me go back. He was trying to compare. His whole thing was, oh, black folks were practicing slavery over there. I'm glad you said that, Zero. I've already gone through that. Slavery, please watch this video from the beginning. Slavery in Africa was different than slavery over here as we know it. Over there in Africa, and this has been documented. It's written in books. Slaves can earn their freedom back. And once again, those people that were enslaved were from other nations or other tribes. They were breaking borders. They were breaking laws, because Africa, as we know it, is a continent and not a country. So there's different people there. And so they were not enslaving their own people. It was people from other places that they were enslaving. So that was something, you know, that I had to correct, that I had to bring up to him. And guess what? He couldn't say a goddamn thing because I was telling him the truth and he knew it. Then he tried to make it seem as if it was the same, and I said it wasn't the same. Based on the book, there's a book called, I can't say the name. It's one of the first books written by a documented slave. And a lot of white folks to this day still don't want to accept the fact that this was written by a slave, because black folks, and I had some ignorant fool try to argue with me about this, but black folks were not permitted, they were not permitted to learn how to read. Slaves were not in the very beginning. Slaves weren't allowed to marry in the very beginning. Okay? So basically his mastering of the English language, his education, they were just flabbergasted that this slave could write so well, read so well. But he was a slave that was taken from Africa. His owners were wealthy, and his white female owner took favor in him and decided to teach him how to read. But it was all to help them, really. They wanted a help that could read, that understood. So anyway, yeah, we got into it about that, about some of the things he said, and you know, I told him, I said I took offense. Like, how can you speak for my people, not yours? My people, this is my ancestry you're talking about. And I told him I thought he was very irresponsible, some of the things he said. Because you're speaking in front of a bunch of impressionable minds. You know, you guys, damn, I got to get ready because I got to go to the gym. I got to juice. I got to do all this stuff before I go to work this morning. So I'm going to hurry up and bring this to a close. But you're telling these kids, you know, that, you know, maybe the slaves shouldn't have been released at the time that they were released, because they would have been better off. And what he was talking about, so after they quote unquote freed the slaves, which was not freeing the slaves, okay? After they freed the slaves, there was a period of time where there was nothing. There was literally nothing in place No, obviously, no work, no money. They still weren't being treated. People still were mistreating them. There weren't laws in place to protect them. There's a period in history that they call this, right? And I have to go back. I think I will go back and go further in so I could actually give you guys a detailed line, right? Just like basically when you think about the civil rights era, I'm a speed ahead of time. Right after black folks got the right to vote, what did they do? They implemented what did they call? The black laws, right? That made it difficult. So yeah, you could vote, but there's all these laws that make it difficult for you to function. But basically, what ended up happening after that is a lot of black people were thrown in jail for every little thing. And this is a period of time. A lot of black people were hung for any little thing. All these miscellaneous laws eventually started developing, but these people had no work. So if you were caught stealing, well, you're not allowed to work. So how are you going to eat? So all these laws of theft, if you're caught stealing this or stealing that, a chicken or whatever, you were thrown in jail. So you were once again enslaved. That there was a huge period of time that was going on. The railroads, right? These men were thrown in jail, left to die in jail, or put on chain gang era. Okay, so for him to say that, I just felt was hugely irresponsible. And you're in a classroom full of impressionable people. I went back to school. Well, I started college. I went to school for many years part-time because I was working at the same time and I had a young child to take care of. Yeah, I was probably in my late 20s when I was in his class, but I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that conversation. Let me say hello to y'all because I'm blabbering. Thank you so much for that statement, Zero. Oh, Amina. Yes, we fought for the land. Very good. Amina. Yes, honey. I'm just gonna quickly say hello to you guys. Then I'm going to bring it to a close. A lot of people didn't know that Congress was integrated before it came along Woodrow Wilson, and then became integrated later on. Reintegrate. Yes, I do. I think I do remember that. Reading about that. Yes. And I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna finish reading. Hello, Lawrence. Good to see you, sweet pea. Oh Lord, my computer is shutting down. Hold on. I'm gonna have to speed this up. Try and read there are some of our people who were native to here, but we were told to come on the boat. Yeah, I do believe that too. And this is what I was telling people. I think that two things can be true at the same time. Because there are people arguing the fact that that there was no people of color here, and I disagree with that. And there's facts showing that that's not true either. When you look at Native Americans, oh God, that's a whole nother story. But the original Native Americans, honey, look just like me, and possibly you. They were dark people. Nappy. I don't want to say nappy because people get offended. I don't get offended at the word nappy. I call myself nappy. But these were people with kinky hair, dark skin. And I've shown a lot of this footage on this channel. There were codes before, but it was weaponized Catholicism to enslave black people, known as Christian Black Codes of 1724. I'm going to definitely look into that. But I believe you. I absolutely believe you. Yes. And did I say hello to hey TC, it's good to see you, sweetie. I'm sorry I'm rushing because I have some work to do. That's actually, I was showing y'all what I do up in the mornings, honey. I was showing you guys what I do in the mornings, yeah, I need to really jump on that. I'm trying to think, do I have time to go to the gym this morning? If I go now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go because I need to go to the gym. That's all fucked up. So yes, this basically, long and short of it, if you haven't been to your local African American museum, go. Take some time, go to the library, find out. There's all libraries have, I forgot the area they call it, but they usually keep these books down. I know in South Carolina they keep them in a very special guarded place, and you have to ask permission to go down there. Oh God, it's an enclosed space because these books cannot be checked out. You cannot check out these books, but they're very poignant. And in these books, you can find images, you can find true writings of slaves. These are protected by the government of the United States. These are gems if you really want to learn your history. Okay. And I haven't been in a while. Ever since COVID, I really haven't. I used to go to the library quite frequently and just read. So this, going to the new International African American Museum down here in Charleston with my uncle yesterday, really motivated me to get back on my reading. But read as much as you can. Learn and be proud of your history. You know, so often, I'm going to say this and I'm going to bring it to a close. So often on social media, it's so much negativity. And a lot of it's coming from us, about us. It's sad. But when I went yesterday and stepped back away from just everything, away from life, and just, it was like traveling back in history in my mind, thinking, you know, I even asked my uncle, I said, do you think you would have made it back then? He said, no, they would have had to kill me. And I said, yes. I don't think I would have, honestly, I'm not sure if I would have made it off the boat. And, yeah, I probably would have been killed. I would have been killed. And I don't believe in suicide, so I don't want to say I would have killed myself. But if I did feel that need, I would have took out a lot of motherfuckers before I did it. I would have made it worth it. I'll tell you that much. I would have made it worth it. But, me and him, we both kind of giggled because his personality and my personality, we were like, they'd have to kill us. Like, yeah. So, you know, our ancestors were some strong, amazing people. And I'm proud. I'm so proud. So I can go on and on. Like I said, the artwork, the artifacts, what we taught the people over here, we taught them agriculture. We taught them how to grow rice. We taught them how to do sugar cane. We taught them this. We nursed their children, honey. We nursed their children. Oftentimes going home with our breasts dried for our own babies, and we didn't have a choice in the matter. You know, work their fields. So I just thought I'd share this with you guys. It was really, really great to have you all here. I got to get my behind out of here and go to the gym. I didn't do a lick of work. Y'all didn't see me type one word. If it gets done, it gets done. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Peace. Let me welcome Hatch Dragon. Watch it from the beginning. Welcome GMT, Life of a Grandmaster Troll. Good to see you. It says, morning, you got my pancakes on the griddle. Child, I look a mess. Y'all know I'm not putting on no makeup at damn. I was up at 3 in the morning. No, I'm not. Honestly, Grandmaster, I'm trying to. So, a little update on me. Y'all know I've struggled with my health for my whole life, pretty much. Last week I wasn't feeling too good. This week I'm feeling better. I was bad. I was not taking their medicines. I hate taking their medicines. But I'm back on the medication. There's lots of reasons I hate taking the medicine, y'all. The medicine makes me feel nauseous. I hate it. I just hate that feeling that the medicine makes me feel. And then it also makes me gain weight. It makes me gain weight, y'all. I have gained weight, but it's okay. It's okay. I promise my doctor I'm going to be good, and I'm going to be good, and I'm going to take my medicine. So I could eventually get off of it. I'm back to working out again, which is why I'm going to this gym, so I could prayerfully get off of this medicine. The medicine, you guys, in case you guys are new, is for digestive issues that I've had pretty much my whole life. I've been diagnosed with Crohn's disease and also IBS syndrome. So, you know, so there it is. Just history of all types of things. So I'm going to keep you in my prayers. You guys keep me in your prayers. I wish you well. I'll see you guys soon with another video. If you guys are just getting in here, make sure to rewind and watch it from the beginning. I think everybody here is subscribed to me, so let me see what. Hey, Walter, you're gonna brick me? Oh Lord, do you want me to talk about this brick issue? I want to say this about the brick issue. A lot of people are enraged about this issue. And I get it. I kind of understand why people are upset about it. I guess I'm just so over social media. So you got this lady, she faked being hit by a brick, which is awful. Because there are people, listen, I've told y'all the story of how I went to the DMV and I went on a whole rant, and some man, literally, the security guard had to get him out of my face because he threatened to hit me for absolutely no reason at all. For no reason at all. Homeless dude. And I was scared. I was scared, I will tell you. This big, huge, 207-pound man in my face, yes. Okay? I was scared. And I didn't have protection because guess what? If you do have a man, your man has to work, right? You men in the chat, you've had girlfriends. Are you with your girlfriends 24 hours a day? So this idea that I don't even really want to get to it. Like I said, social media is so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. But the fact is, in reality, in the world that we live in, women are going to be alone. So when I saw the story, I did believe the story, because why wouldn't I? I just believed the story because, like, who would make up something like this? But then I forgot this is 2023 and people are on a clout chase. Like, people are clout chasing idiots on here. And they don't care about who they put in danger. They don't care. So this woman went on a rant about black men not helping her. And it's sad because situations like that do, well, I won't say the brick situation happened, but there's situations in real life that can happen like that, and she goes up and tells this horrible lie. For what? Like I said, I was not interested in a story like that. Y'all saw I didn't even talk about this. Is the first time I'm talking about this story because I don't even care. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even really look at it as a situation that really involved African Americans, because she's from Senegal. So I don't know, and I guess that happened over there. I don't know. So but yeah. And then a month ago, we had another woman lie and say that she saw a white baby being kidnapped. And then a few months before that, what was the lie? There was a lie about I'm dating a dude and he didn't buy my child a 99-cent burger from McDonald's. For clout, for clout, for clout. These people are desperate for clout. They're just desperate. And it's sad because they're putting other people in danger. So now and it does happen, so now when another woman, forget the color, when a woman is being harassed or whatever, and she's actually attacked, what's social media going to do? They're not going to believe it. It's just like women who lie about rape. Statistically, most women do not lie about rape. That's statistically. They have found that to be true, right? But all it takes is one. It just takes one woman to get up there and lie and be trifling. And now all the women, now after that, are being side-eyed about their claims. This is something that I've studied when I was in the military. Okay, I was an EO representative in my unit, so this is something that I know about. You know, one bad apple ruins the motherfucking bunch. Like, they ruin it for other people and they don't care. This woman does not care. So yeah, which is, you know, y'all know, I come, I take my breaks off here because it's so, social media. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I love you guys and the love and support that you guys show me, but I hate the evilness on here, man. It's so much evilness on here. Y'all, it's so much bitterness and the clout chasing, the desperation, it's not cool. It's not good. The competitiveness with other, and I'm thinking to myself, to me, social media is a job. It's a fun job, but it's a job. Do your job. Stop worrying about what the next person is doing. Stop worrying about what the next YouTuber is doing. Yeah, you know, y'all, Walter Sniper, you've been with me a long time. That's something I've been telling y'all for a while now. I don't listen, I don't talk about no YouTuber unless they come for me, unless they talk about me. If they come for me first, or if they talk about me, then yeah, the gloves are off, honey. But other than that, I'm minding my own damn business. I'm staying in my own damn lane. I'm giving my opinions. And that's another thing. People are so sensitive. They think that everything is about them. Everything. That woman lied, I guess, on black men. You know you're not that black man. You know you're not going around hitting people in bricks. Why be offended? She's a liar. When these men get up here and say whatever they're saying about black women, I don't take offense to that because I know I'm not that. I know I'm not that. I never been lazy or whatever the bullshit they say, because honestly, I don't even listen to it. At this point, I don't even listen to it. I don't have a bunch of baby daddies. I ain't never been on welfare or Section 8. And if you have, there's no shame in it. But the point is, that's not me. I have been a single mother, and I'm proud of it. I've been a damn good single mother at times, when I had to be. I have worked multiple jobs. And I have been a good woman to somebody. So when these guys get up here and say stuff, I don't give a damn what they say because that's not me. That doesn't speak to me. Hit dogs holler, and goddamn it, I'm not a dog and I wasn't hit. So, you know, I just think people really need to come up out their feelings on social media. Get up out your feelings. Don't take the stuff that people say so personally, because there's a lot of negative shit on here. And it's not good for your soul, it's not good for your spirit. Guard your energy. Spend some time at the African American Museum. I will take you guys live with me when I go back, okay? Peace. You guys have a good morning. Good morning, young Riaz. Keep up your music, honey. You're awesome. Let me see what Hatch says. Hey, LaShawn. Yeah, I mean, I just don't even see how these people are able to talk about the same negative stuff every freaking day. Let me see what LaShawn says. Some folks got evil names. Yeah, I'm sick of it. I'm just not going to do it anymore. Like I said, I'm feeling better. So I'm back on track with what I've got to do. So now that I'm back on track, feeling a little bit better, I'll be back on track with my uploads and my shorts, okay? And my fashion hauls. So I'll see you guys soon with another video. Let me see what young Ria says. It says, what you mean? What you mean? It says, front to back, left to right. Oh, wagon. Online flows. Yeah, I got some of those. Easy work. Let's go in. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Watch from the beginning.